Well, hello and welcome to today's video. I have a little bit of an old faded dirty shirt kind of thing going on because I've had my head under the counter under the lavatory in the laundry room. We're going to freshen it up. We're going to make it look a lot like what we have in the main bedroom, where I had updated that a few years ago. The same faucets are not available, but from the same big box store, I find something that is, for all intents and purposes, the replacement product. Is branded differently. It's an Allen and Roth versus a Jacuzzi brand, but they look identical except for maybe a small little update here and there. I'll show you. So we need to go get started on this.
I hate bad audio, but we're going to do these type of, while I'm doing it, videos can get long if I have to put in mic up and that sort of thing. So what I have here is a new faucet. We're going to put it in place of a very basic standard contractor grade type thing. We're going to replace the drain and of course the faucet. This gets replaced as soon as it gets here. I don't know if you can see, but there's a little bit of staining from the water, simply because it leaks all the time. A little drip, drip, drip. It's old, and the reverse osmosis water has in fact slowly degraded that faucet. So this type of guy, it's fairly simple to install, if there is such a thing for a bathroom. This is in the brushed stainless type of mode, brushed nickel, whatever they want to call it. It's like this other bathroom, the master one. I did it a while back. You just couldn't quite get under this space here very easily. It worked well for years, just a little inconvenient. So we wanted to modernize a little bit, get rid of this kind of this older looking type of thing. So we're going to work on that, clean this mess up, and see how long it takes to change the faucet. I already emptied the cabinet below it. Of course, the two valves are stuck on the faucet. The RO is the one that works for some strange reason, so we'll put this in there. These do look just like the last one. The first one I put in was a Jacuzzi. It has worked for a couple of years now. I like it. So I want to get one that looks just about the same, and it has a good enough height between the hands and it to make it a little bit more easy to work with. Perhaps I get something in my eye or something like that in the garage. This is the right off the garage lavatory and bathroom, so it tends to be a little bit more dirty than some of the others, just simply because it just didn't get the love and attention it needs. We'll replace that drain, and let's get to it.
Thank you for watching this video. I appreciate it. I have a story and a little bit of an ask of you. I also run a parallel channel on Rumble because of the story. I've had a YouTube channel for well over 10 years. It started out just for me and for friends, and it kind of grew. People liked the content, and very organically it grew. Never advertised or whatever. I got what I call a nastygram email from YouTube saying, if you don't advertise on your videos, we reserve the right to advertise on them. So I applied to their program. I went a full year and it timed out. They never would approve my channel, even though it met all the requirements. I've gone back. I'm in my second year. They don't do it. I had lots of views and things going up until the point my knees went bad and I couldn't get around, and I did a series on ATF items, silencer, suppressors, and ARs and etching and things like that. And all of a sudden I have fallen off the face of the earth. So if you will please consider helping someone else, you can let your voice be heard if you'll subscribe and hit the notification bell. If we get more activity coming back on this way, maybe somebody will notice. Maybe it'll help. I appreciate your time. I apologize for interrupting this video.
Well, this is what it looks like underneath. You'll probably get a bad echo because we're stuck in the cabinet, but the single tube to our left is our old faucet, and the two brusty looking ones with the copper stubs are the sink ones themselves, the faucet ones. We'll take those down. Looks like they just have some, I guess we just call regular hex nuts there on a rusty shaft. I don't know if I can take it a little liquid wrench and get them to come loose or not. It may be an aggravating time, but I should also be able to use just a standard long socket, long deep well socket, and get these off versus having to use a faucet wrench. I hate using faucet wrenches, but they are necessary. The drain, the plug, the pull up on the works just right off that lever. We'll take that off. This whole piece goes away and it's replaced by that black plastic piece I haven't yet shown you, but that's where it goes. Looks like you get a little putty around, the plumber's putty around the gasket there. Should be a simple job, and we just get the water stopped and me started.
Well, with this faucet, before I pull the old one out, if there were any confusion that hot is left and cold is right, One of the things you can do if you have a little older home, maybe it wasn't plumbed quite correctly that way for some reason or another, the pipes got crossed, something like that, you can always turn the faucet on and let it run for a while until you get hot water coming out of it, and then feel the two lines that are coming off of your existing faucet, and one should obviously be a little hotter, and that one's it. Now if you want to, you can then mark that valve down below with a piece of red electrical phase tape. I actually marked the line, although it was a duplicate of the label that was already there. So right now where I can still see, and I got good daylight, I know that little tag that comes on the hose, the left hose goes to the left, the one with the tag on it, because that's where my hot water is. So we just hook it up. We took the old faucet out and we'll put the new one in. Let's just remove those little bolts, the little hex nuts on there, take that off, disconnect the drain, replace the drain. I'll show you a picture underneath here in a little bit, but let's see what we can see from topside install.
The other one came right out. The nuts came off. You might try something like this with a rusty bolt. I don't know this brand, Blast or whatever, but I've had a couple cans of that in the garage. We use that just to kind of get the rust off, move. This one goes in through a single piece here. This spins up and you get it close against that washer right there, and then you can kind of tighten it down with those screws to get that on there. This is an Allen and Roth. It's just like the jacuzzi in the other one for the most part. From the outside, I would say. I don't know what it is on the inside, but it looks like the same thing on the outside by all physical dimensions. And the other one's no longer available, so it's not like I have any choice. Well, there we have it. She's in. And I did notice that this is a little bit different in the store brand versus the jacuzzi. So I mean, they look mostly identical. This is a little bit different. It has like more of a drain screen at the bottom of the stopper than the other one does, the one in the other bed. But it just goes straight in. If I can get my hand to go in there. That's it. Now we just have to wait on this one to come in UPS, and we'll put it in. So far, we probably did about 30 minutes, maybe. Everything pretty well much cooperated, which is unusual with me and plumbing.
Well, let's throw in a little view from under the sink, and I'll put the cell phone in there. We might get a little bit of echo. See that little tag up on that one line? That one says hot water line. They have to tell us which one's which. Now, they might do it in some faucets. They might actually have one of the little brass fittings at the bottom red and one of them blue, or just maybe one blue. I did add a little bit of red electrical phase tape there on that one line. If we slide on over to this side, we see a blue one on the cold, and of course that third one over there is the reverse osmosis water. Now, we are missing an escutcheon plate that would go over that one pipe in the very, very back. This escutcheon is a nice word for those little round, silvery looking things that go up against the wall. I may have to go to town and get one at some point. It's been that way for almost 20 years and not been a problem. But this drain, you see, it has no rod. It's a pop-up stopper versus a rod stopper, and it just goes down. That's 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches should be. And a sink, this is a lavatory. A sink as a fixture has to have 1.5 inches for a kitchen sink. It just has a little rubber washer that goes up in the base, and you just screw that down kind of hand tight, look for leaks. And on the hoses, while they feel a little bit cheaper than I felt on a faucet recently, I think they'll be okay. They are reinforced on the outside. So they have a rubber gasket at the end of them, which stops leak from there. And the water is on, and we do look around in the base of it. And there's no leakage. And when you think you've checked it enough, check it some more, run some water, try to fill up the sink, let the water run out, feel along your trap there to make sure that nothing leaks, because there is almost nothing more aggravating in the world than to find out the bottom of your cabinet has rotted out because you get a bit of a drippage down there. So do that. If you're confused on how you might do that, lay a piece of paper underneath it and wait 24 hours and see if anything happens to drip, because sometimes you have a very slow drip over maybe 1 drip a day, but if you don't know it, it will ruin the cabinet bottoms, and it's just worth the effort to do that. Well, let's wrap this up. I guess I'll slip in the product showcase in there. Here we have the Allen and Roth, available exclusively at Lowe's, it says. This is a Harlow series. This is also available in I think black and a gold tone type thing. Can you believe the gold tones are coming back after the bright brass? Although it's just it's a gold tone with a brushed finish to it, and they're calling it something else, and they make it black. I don't really like the black. Not in Tennessee, not around water particularly, because we have hard water, and I don't want to see any little buildup on it because it'll show pretty quick. Unceremoniously, I received my box with the RO faucet in it, and they have different kinds. Obviously, you can look on Amazon. This one you might find Ice Spring. It may not be that brand. I don't remember which one I ordered. It's a pretty basic unit, and it's sold under different names. Here it is. It's just simply a single connection with the tubing, and yes, I am correct. It does not come with that adapter, a 1/4 to 3/8. It does have a little base and a little plastic nut to go on the bottom. It takes 10 minutes to put this thing in, change the other one out. So let's get to that and wrap up this video.
And we're done. What do you think? Now, I have a shorter gooseneck from the old faucet, and I have in the past, like in the back bedroom, the main bedroom, I took steel wool to it and gave it sort of that brushed stainless look to it. But what do you think? Does that look any better than what we had there before? Does it look more modern? What do you think? Let me back up and get a little bit more of the cabinet in there. What do you think?